Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and joining our first YouTube live event of Fording SYA. My name is Shauna Campbell, and I am the Admissions Marketing Manager here at School Year Abroad. Joining me tonight, I have two Assistant Directors of Admissions, Avery and Enrique. Can you both introduce yourselves to everyone?
Hi, everyone. My name is Enrique Granados. I'm an Assistant Director of Admissions here at School Year Abroad, and I'm a proud alum of the SYA China Class 2010-2011.
Hi, everyone. I'm Avery. I also work in the admissions office. I'm an alum of our France program, class of 2011.
So Avery and Enrique are here to help you guys with whatever you need, whether it's walking you through the application process or you need help with financial aid or scholarships. Enrique and Avery are here to answer all of your questions. So tonight, we're just going to go through SYA's financial aid and our scholarship opportunities. So before we get started, I'd like to ask everyone who's watching to please introduce yourself in the chat box. And if you haven't done so already, if you haven't RSVP'd, please put your email address in. Towards the end of this session, we'll have a bit of Q&A. And if we do not get to your question, we want to answer your question and we'd need your email to respond. So please give us your email address and we'll get back to you with the response. All right, so let's get started. Enrique, can you walk us through School Year Abroad's tuition?
Absolutely. So the tuition at School Year Abroad, we have two, one for the full year and one for the semester. The full year tuition of this last year was $57,400. For the semester, it was $31,600. Now, the tuition has not been set for the upcoming school year, so please await that in February. But that is basically how it breaks down. The SY tuition is the same for all four of our programs. There's not a different price tag for each one. Again, if you are trying to do the semester program, we have the semester program available in Italy and in China. And that's why those programs cost $31,600 for the semester. And that is on par with most boarding schools in the country to date.
Awesome. So Enrique, can you walk us through what tuition includes?
Sure. So tuition is all-inclusive for your experience with SYA. So that means that you'll have your own room when you're living with your host family for the 9 months. And that means that you will stay with your host family. You can stay with them for the entire time there. Whether that's your Christmas break or your spring break, you'll be able to stay with them at no extra cost. You'll have public transportation to and from SYA, the schools there, provided to you. You have all your meals provided to you during your experience, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. We will have options for you now. There will also be transportation and lodging and food throughout your trip. So SYA is also going to offer educational trips. Your hotels, your food, all the planned activities that you have during the SYA trips are included in tuition. Now, on top of that, there's also accidents and illness insurance that is included in your tuition.
Great. So Avery, can you tell us what tuition does not include?
Sure. There are a couple of common fees tuition doesn't include, one of them being the book fee, the other being tuition remission insurance. Other things that the tuition doesn't include, the flight to and from the SYA home country, spending and personal money, which really depends on every individual student. How much you think you usually spend in a week is probably how much you usually might spend abroad. But just to give a general estimate, that's helpful for a lot of parents and students. We do estimate about $50 a week. The last expense that sometimes is unforeseen is every student does need to get a visa over the summer before they go abroad. So each country's consulates charge their own fees that you can find on their websites.
All right. Well, thank you for explaining that. Let's talk about the programs that defray costs. So Avery, can you walk us through the financial aid process?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are 3 main steps to applying for financial aid. And I want to remind everyone, our website has all of these steps lined out and all of the links and websites and things I'll mention, even the forms I mentioned, those are all going to be on our website as well, easy to find. So please check out our website. But step number 1 is to fill out the parent's financial statement. This is on a pretty common service called School and Student Services, known as SSS pretty commonly. This is the service that most independent schools use. So if you or your child qualifies for financial aid at their current school, it's likely you actually already use this service and are familiar with it. And it is pretty straightforward of a statement to fill out, but definitely don't leave it to the last minute. So that is a statement that, again, is uploaded to that SSS website. Step number 2 is to prepare your tax return. So once you have your tax return, that's another form you upload directly to the SSS website. Your signed and completed 1040 for 2018. If you don't have your 2018 tax return quite yet at the time that you're filling out your financial aid application, please just submit the most recent tax return you have and this year's W-2s. We'll just get those 2018 tax returns from you as soon as we can, but just be advised we can't really give out your finalized financial aid award until we do get the 2018 tax return. Step number 3 is one last IRS form called the 4506T. That is something you print out, complete, sign, and you actually mail to our office. And those are the 3 steps, financial aid.
Thanks, Avery. So Enrique, can you tell us how much SYA gives in financial aid?
Absolutely. So in this last year, SYA gave about $3 million in financial aid for the student body, and almost 50% of these students abroad receive some financial aid. Now, keep in mind that every year we receive more requests for financial aid than we have reserves for. So please keep that in mind when applying.
All right. So when will you hear back from us about financial aid?
You should hear back from us in the beginning of March, around the same time that you hear about your acceptance status.
And Avery, can you also answer the question, does everyone who apply for financial aid receive a financial aid award?
That's a great question. So every year we receive more requests for aid than we are able to meet the need of. That being said, if we are able to provide you with a financial aid grant, we will meet all of your demonstrated need in accordance with those SSS guidelines. And I just want to make one other thing really clear, because we're about to move on to our merit scholarships, move on from financial aid portion to our merit scholarship portion. If you're unsure about applying for financial aid, you're not sure if you'd qualify for financial aid, maybe you're hesitant to submit that application, I do want to reassure parents and students watching, applying for financial aid does not hurt your child's chances of being admitted to our programs.
Great. No, that's great to note. So let's move on to our merit scholarships. Avery, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'll begin with the merit scholarships that require you to actually apply to them. They require supplemental materials. So when you're filling out your application for us, there will be a box that says you intend to apply to these. Make sure you check that box and make sure you submit these supplemental materials that I'll mention by the deadline. So the first scholarship we'll talk about is our really special scholarship, the Halsey Fund Scholarship. This is awarded to one exceptional student every year. It's someone who demonstrates exceptional academic ability, a really huge interest in global studies and understanding different cultures, and definitely also in improving their language ability in the language they're studying. The other big component to the Halsey Fund Scholarship is that you qualify for some type of financial aid. So what is the Halsey Fund Scholarship? It is a scholarship that covers full tuition at our schools as well as round-trip airfare. In order to apply for this, to make sure you get all those required materials in, you do need to complete our general application by our February 8th deadline. The second requirement is we have a supplemental essay. The whole essay prompt is outlined on our website. Again, please make sure you read through our financial aid and scholarships page on our website, sya.org. But that separate essay that we require is no more than 500 words, and you email it to our office, again, by February 8th. And the third and final part of applying for the Halsey Fund Scholarship is to make sure that you apply for financial aid by the financial aid deadline, February 15th, and that you, of course, do the financial aid application results in demonstrating that you do need some financial aid. The second scholarship I'll talk about are our big merit scholarships, the SYA Merit. We award 4 of these. It's one scholarship to each country. One student from each SYA country will receive this scholarship, and it is for $25,000. Semester applicants are also welcome to apply to this scholarship, and their award would be for $12,500. So applicants for the SYA Merit Scholarship are required to secure an extra letter of recommendation. So you can get this extra letter of recommendation from a coach, a mentor, another advisor, just basically any adult in your life who knows you well and can really speak in support of your candidacy for the SYA program that you're applying to. Again, submit it by the deadline, February 8th. That's an important component to qualifying for these scholarships. And merit scholarship recipients will be notified at the time of their acceptance.
All right, Enrique, you want to run through the other scholarships?
Sure. So there are 3 other scholarships that we have available for students interested in applying. We have the Public School Scholarship, we have the Legacy Scholarship, and the 1964 Scholarship. So the Public School Scholarship runs for about $30,000 for the full year student. And if the student is awarded it and they're on a semester program, they will have a $15,000 scholarship available to them. The requirement for that is that you are currently enrolled at a public school. You do not have to submit extra material like the essay for the Halsey or the letter of recommendation for the merit. However, you do have to show demonstrated need. You'll need to apply for financial aid by the financial aid deadline. Now, the Legacy Scholarship is in the amount of $10,000 for the full year, $5,000 for the semester. Now, the Legacy Scholarship is available to students who are the sibling or the child of an SYA alum. Just like the public school, you do not need to submit any extra required information, like an essay or a letter of recommendation. You will be considered for it upon your completion of the general admissions application on February 8th. Now, for the 1964 scholarship, this is a special scholarship. We award a limited number of these to students in the general applicant pool, and they actually vary in amount, receiving up to $15,000. Now, the students that we're looking for the 1964 scholarship are students that have an exceptional academic ability, commitment to their communities, and passion for exploring other cultures. And all of the recipients for the scholarships will be notified at the time of acceptance.
Great. So Avery, would you recommend that students apply to other scholarships outside of SYA?
Yeah, there are many organizations you might not even know about yet within communities that have opportunities for students. So it doesn't hurt to ask around, ask at your parents' companies, places of worship, your school district. It doesn't hurt to investigate.
All right, great. So let's go through our deadlines, I think, one last time. So they're super clear to everyone. Avery, can you tell everyone the deadlines again?
Yes, so the general application deadline, your essay, your letters of recommendations from your teachers, all of that, February 8th is our deadline for that. Mm-hmm. The financial materials that your parents are filling out, all of the financial aid application materials, February 15th.
Great. So at this point, really, we're going to turn it over to you guys for our Q&A session. So if you do have questions for either Avery or Enrique, please type them in the chat box right now. And I will start you guys off with a question that we get a lot. What if your parents are divorced? How does that fit into financial aid?
Well, both parents are expected to contribute to a child's education according to the way that SSS and SYA's financial office gives out financial aid. So we do want both parents to each, if they're separated or divorced, fill out their own financial aid applications and send them to our office and upload them to SSS.
So all the rules that Avery mentioned earlier, the SSS, on all those websites, all those forms, you'll want to follow those, all those steps.
All right. Like I said, if there are any questions, please type them now. I'd rather answer them for you now, or if you do have a very personal question about your finances, or you have very specific questions, it is best to call our office. You could do that, or you could send an email to the admissions department, which is sya.admissions@sya.org.
And our phone number for the office is 978-725-6828.
Great. So far there aren't any questions. I can also walk through maybe one other commonly asked question. Let's see. And Avery, you did say if your taxes aren't filed yet, that you can submit what you currently have, but you will eventually need your 2018 tax return.
Yeah, I think in general, it's always just a good idea to be in communication with the SYA office. Let us know what's happening on your end. As long as we know you're working on getting those current tax returns to us, or you're waiting for them to come back, if they've been submitted, that's all good information for us to know. I know not every single person in the world is able to get their tax returns back by February 15th, but it's a good thing. It's only mid-December now. I know it's about to kick off a really busy time of year, but it's something you can start thinking about now, and know that for our purposes, it's good to get it done as early as it can get done. Doesn't hurt to get it back sooner. If we can get them by February 15th, that's always, of course, something we'd prefer.
All right, so we have a question from Olivia. Who can qualify for financial aid?
So anyone can qualify for financial aid. If you feel that you might demonstrate a need for financial aid, you're more than welcome to apply. Again, as Avery said, an application for financial aid will not hurt your chances of admission into the program. So it is on a self-described basis.
Yeah, and I think just to sort of go into like, how is your financial need determined? Like, how do we figure out if you can get money or not in our financial aid budget? It's really that service that I mentioned earlier that we rely upon and that most independent schools rely upon, the School and Student Services, SSS. The parent financial form and the tax documents that parents upload into that site is what sort of they give us a recommended amount. So once parents actually fill out and upload all those materials for SSS, they can see the report that SSS generates and just sort of see where they stand. So that's a good place to start, is definitely visiting SSS website, which there's a direct link to this website on our financial aid page. But in case you want to hear it out loud now, it is sss.nais.org.
Great. Thank you so much, Avery.
Yeah.
If that's all the questions we have tonight, then I think it's time for us to sign off. So thank you guys so much for attending. And if you did come halfway through, this broadcast will be available live on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it whenever you like. And if you have any questions, like I said, please contact us. We are here to answer any and all of your questions. So thank you so much. And
thank you.
Good night.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.